Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ZakIsCinema. Yes, welcome back to the best place to, as you guys know, the best place to talk about movies, the most welcoming place that I like to think about it as. Yes, ZakIsCinema is just for all those people out there that have just been so curious about this new resurgence of utilizing public domain and turning it into a low-budget shit slasher movie, but you're so curious enough to check it out despite the quality, but then you turn to a coworker, you turn to a family member, and you're like, hey, did you hear about this? These couple of slasher movies starring Mickey Mouse, you know, they entered public domain and now people can use them. And they turn to you with a quick look of disappointment and then be like, I didn't think Disney made horror movies. And then you're like, well, no, it's public domain. It's not Disney, you know, they just can use the character, they can use the rights, they don't have to pay for it. So it's someone else, grandma. And then they look at you again, then they're like, well, when is it going to be on Disney Plus or in theaters? And you're like, well, it's not a Disney movie, that's just public domain, and they're taking advantage of it, grandma. And then they're still confused, and you're like, forget it. I won't talk to anybody about this movie. If that's you and you have no one to talk to about this, well, now you do, is what my point was. So you're welcome. Welcome to ZakIsCinema. Welcome home, I should say. Yes, today we're going to be doing another movie review today. So for today, we're going to be talking about the new movie that just came out called I Heart Willie. So for I Heart Willie, for director, we got Alejandro Algaray? Maybe. For writer, we got David Vaughn. And starring in this movie, we got Maya Luna, Sergio Rogalto, Daniela Porras, and Miko Camacho. I think I butchered everybody's names, so again, ZakIsCinema is very sorry. The plot for I Heart Willie follows an obsessed psychopath unknowingly leading her friends into a deadly mousetrap where pure evil exists, in this horrific origin story of one of the most beloved cartoon characters of all time. I get some of these plot synopses from Letterboxd, and I read this before, and I'm like, read it before watching the movie, and I'm like, that seemed like it kind of spoiled something, and it does. Don't you just love that when a plot synopsis is, especially with this one, it's misleading and it spoils something. So thanks whoever wrote that. As we hop into this review, we've been, like I said in the beginning here, we've been seeing a trend of these public domain movies turned into slasher movies where a character enters public domain, people are hopping on that train. So we've been seeing a lot of them recently, and I feel like I'm always going into these just curious, just waiting for the first one to really knock it out of the park and really just show all the other ones what they should have been doing from the beginning. Just for some context here, I didn't really like the first Blood and Honey movie. I maybe didn't think it was as bad as people were saying, but still, not a very good movie. I thought 2 was a little bit better. Peter Pan was all right, but soon we're going to be getting a Steamboat Willie movie, or I think they just changed it to Steamboat, produced from the Terrifier guys. So at first I thought this I Heart Willie one, I thought it was the Steamboat movie, and I'm like, oh shit, already? I'm surprised no one's really talking about this or mentioning it or something, but no, different movie, different person taking advantage of this, so that's cool. But I went to check it out the other day, and another instance similar to the Blood and Honey movies where I got there, realized my Regal membership didn't cover this because it's like a special Fandango event, so I paid out of pocket for it. I was already there. I thought about turning away, and maybe I should have. Maybe I should have, because yeah, let's jump into the review here. So let's jump into the positives here, or the things that I just really enjoyed about I Heart Willie. First, there's a nice little message here in the beginning from our director and I believe the writer. In the beginning, introducing the movie, thanking the fans and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. He seems like a nice guy, you know? I guess that was a positive for the movie. I don't know. I kind of like when movies do that. I still remember the one from Top Gun Maverick that had that nice little intro with Tom Cruise and the director. So I thought it was kind of cool. That's a positive, I guess. And my next positive here is, I think I'm going to get into spoilers. I think I'll probably decide like halfway through here, but they have this main character set up to be our final girl here called Nora. And I think they do attempt to set up up something somewhat interesting with her character. She has this growing obsession with Steamboat Willie, or Willie, in this movie, and remember seeing him at a young age and grew obsessed with him. And at the beginning, there's a little breadcrumbs to see that she's a little unhinged, and the synopsis gave it away, but still, like, if you didn't read it, the movie kind of hints at it a little bit early on that she might be a little unhinged. But it kind of almost reminded me of the love story in Nosferatu recently, where Nosferatu was obsessed with the main girl, and that was like the love story of his obsession like towards her, and her fighting it and not really wanting to give in until the very end. But in this movie, they kind of do a neat little thing where they reverse that, and it's the girl Nora that saw Willie when she was younger and grew obsessed with him and has been tracking him down because of her obsession and infatuation with our Willie character here. So they do some interesting things here where she's like interested in blood, obsessed with it. Multiple scenes where she's licking it and tasting off the weapons Willie was using. She's mentions of her into some weird kinky stuff. Wanted to also be a killer, or wanted to be with a killer, she mentions in the movie, in a stupid scene, but she's mentioning like, if my boyfriend, if I was in love with him and he was a killer, I think I'd be okay with that. So it's not subtle. You kind of see where they're leading with it, but there was an attempt there. It's an interesting twist on our final girl to really be part of the plan here, and even our killer's on the outside of this plan because he has no idea who this girl is. So they do a little bit, couple of interesting things there with that Nora character. It's about it for positives. So let's jump into the negatives here, or the things I didn't personally like about it. Now, obviously, this is extremely low budget. It was only in theaters for a one-night special event that I attended. So I know they didn't have the budget, they didn't have the time, the actors to, I guess, really elevate this material. But still, I don't know. You charged me full price here, wouldn't let me use my Regal membership, so I'm gonna judge you for that. Maybe if it was discounted or you let me use it, I'd probably go a little bit easier, but you didn't do that, buddy. So I'm just gonna start off, attention everybody, I'm just gonna start off by reading what public domain law is, and when a character enters it, what that means. For everybody here, when a character enters the public domain, it means that the copyright on that character has expired, allowing anyone to freely use the character in their creative works without needing permission or paying some sort of royalty or fee. It is now considered public property. So Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse himself, the mouse, went into public domain, meaning people can utilize it for whatever. So we've been seeing, I think Mickey's Mousetrap or whatever came out on VOD last year, heard nothing but shit about it. But with all these, even the Twisted Universe stuff, I'm just reading that definition of what public domain means. I'm still just left here perplexed as to why these movies continually take themselves so seriously, like snuff film level of seriousness. It feels like all of them so far have been trying to make the next like redefining slasher, like what Texas Chainsaw Massacre did in the late 70s, like stuff like that, like really edgy shit. It's like, guys, you have the rights to Mickey Mouse, his personality, his lore. What are you doing just selling your spec script for a Friday the 13th ripoff, and you throw a Mickey Mouse mask on it? It enters public domain, a Disney character especially, if anything. You have access to that. Why not use that? In my opinion, I just don't think these movies should be taking themselves as seriously as they are. I think it's already inherently such a goofy and silly concept that it lends itself to a really good concept of just an over-the-top, self-aware, almost horror slasher movie that could really have a lot of fun and do a lot of things with it. And I think I'd be more forgiving of them utilizing public domain. Like, here's a cool opportunity. Why not actually try to do something with it? And this movie, unfortunately, is same issues as the Twisted Childhood universe of just taking themselves ultra seriously. You get those rights and don't do anything with them. it's frustrating. The concept of taking public domain and turning childhood stories into horror movies is a good idea. Like I said, like you could do a lot of fun with that, just over the top, wacky. Don't take yourself so seriously. It could be a lot of fun, a nice little like niche market on the slasher genre. But they don't do that. This movie takes itself very seriously, full of dumb characters, a story that's non-existent, kills that are just depraved and not interesting, not fun, not creative in any sort of way. There's exposition scenes throughout the entire movie, especially in the beginning when they're all in the car driving to this cabin in the woods, and all the characters just sound like they're reading like newspaper clippings and headlines to each other, giving us the lore, the backstory on our Steamboat Willie character here and all his lore. They literally just sound like they're reading newspaper articles to each other. Just very, very lazy there. And the group of people that we follow is just uninteresting. They're a group of emo people, but our main girl Nora is the only one like dressed in pink, and I get it. It seems like she's the one non-emo person there that turns out to be the killer with Willie. So I mean, I guess I get it there, but they're all dressed like it's like a satire on emo people, just so cringy, and they're going out to a cabin in the woods to film ghost shit for their YouTube channel. Very investing stuff, as you guys can tell. Dumb character decisions, dumb stuff like that, and a plot that you just don't care about. Characters that are just so unlikable. You're just waiting for Willie to kill them in interesting and horrific ways, but it never really happens. Just dumb, stupid things that they waste time on too in the script. Like once they get to the cabin, they get a big jump scare from a homeless person in there, and then they run outside screaming, and then Nora's like berating everybody, giving them a lecture on homeless people. She like stares at them. She's like, yeah, he can't get a job with his body and face all messed up like that. You don't know what he's been through. Society's pushed him to this, and now we're just running away. And she leads the group back into the creepy ass house with homeless people, or we don't know who, or the characters didn't know at that point. Just let's go back inside. This is nothing to worry about. And I'm just like there, like rolling my eyes. I'm like, what is this? Is this a metaphor for like taking care of the impoverished people in our society with that lecture scene that never comes back into play again? Or is these just dumb characters entering another creepy situation with all the red warning signs all over the place from the moment that they get there? I don't know. I saw the movie and I still don't know. There's dumb things in the script here again, like I said, characters literally almost looking at the camera saying things like, I will keep you safe, nothing bad will happen to you, and my favorite one is, I'll be right back. Like, I know this is low budget, but like that doesn't affect your script here that you're coming to this project with here. It just felt very rushed, and the multiple times the characters would be like, I'll be right back. I'm like, guys, like I don't know why horror movies still do this. Scream made fun of it in the 90s. It's been over 20 years that's been a cliche and an old thing, and they do it unironically. One thing I noticed in here is there's no like bass or sound effects to the kills. I know very, very low budget here, but anytime there's a stabbing or like a hammer swing or something, there's no like sound effect. You don't feel it at all. I'm like, did he miss? Did he not hit the person? Willie here is like skinning people, and you don't hear anything. It's just like, did you turn the mic off? It's strange, and it was giving me nothing. I was looking for something to hold on to and be like, all right, I enjoyed that at least. Even the kills here are extremely disappointing. As soon as the movie started, I was just like sat back in my seat. I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be a rough experience, I think. But hey, at least like this is not rated. Maybe they're gonna go for it with the kills. At least they're taking themselves seriously. So maybe I'll get some good carnage out of this. But most of the kills, again, low budget, but they're cutaway or like stabbings where it just at some points when there's like vicious stabbings, it looks like set crew just throwing buckets of blood at the actor's face. Like it doesn't even line up with their like swings or anything. They don't do anything with Mickey Mouse in this movie. Like I said, doesn't utilize the Mickey lore, takes itself seriously. I'm like, guys, you're adapting a Disney thing. Be a little whimsical here, even if it's just a little bit. They don't do any origin like the synopsis said. They just film our characters, then every once in a while they cut to Willie in the basement looking like a trashed Dexter's kill room as he's like killing someone that we don't know or care about, or like getting like dressed and like fixing his cheap little mask there like he's supposed to be like Art the Clown or something. Just nothing there. He doesn't talk. All these public domain movies just don't feel like writing a script for their killer, so they make them don't talk. It's the same thing here, same issue in the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie. The only Mickey Mouse thing that they do is after one kill, I believe halfway through the movie, right before he kills the person, he does the oh boy thing like Mickey Mouse, and I was like, oh, that was something. That should have been all of it. He should have been throwing out Mickey lines every 30 seconds, but that was one thing. That was the one Mickey thing that they did. Yeah, there's no ending here. There's really no story to end, but again, spoilers here. I decided I don't give a shit. They don't do anything with the Nora character like I mentioned in my positives. They set up something a little bit interesting where she's a little unhinged and turns out to be obsessed with this slasher villain. One scene admits she's evil to everybody. It's implied she's been like lifelong friends with this one girl, is just like throws that away, just says she's evil and starts killing people with Willie. And then once all her friends are dead, they look like they're about to like make out, her and Willie, and then the movie ends. There's no arc there. There's no character change. There's no conclusion. There was nothing to set up to conclude, but they don't do anything with that Nora character. No development with Nora really, or our killer Willie. He's the same exact person that the movie started with at the end. He just goes around killing people. It's Jason with a Mickey Mouse mask. That's all it is. And that's what I was figuring it was gonna be, but overall here, like I said, I don't want to be harsh. Obviously, this is a low budget movie here, but I paid full price. I'm just throwing that out there. But this is honestly one of the worst slasher movies I think I've ever seen. It really made me start despising some of these people who actually take advantage of these and aren't going to do anything with it. Like I said, I like the concept. I like the idea. I really don't see an issue with it, but just do something with it. You have the rights to the character now. Do something with it. Like, why wouldn't you? It feels like a slasher movie that some buddies wrote drunk over a weekend in a cabin or something. They couldn't get their spec scripts sold for their slasher movie that they wrote, so they're like, the public domain with Mickey Mouse, that'll be our selling point. And then they got it sold and funded and then made this here. So that's just what it felt like. If you like these, if you've been enjoying these, you might enjoy this one. It's just not a movie for me. Such a wasted concept here. Mickey Mouse could be a really fun killer, but not in this movie. We'll see if Steamboat is any better. I think the trailer just dropped. I've seen images and stuff. It looks like they're trying there with that, so I'll definitely be checking that out soon. But for I Heart Willie, my rating for this movie is I will never look to own this movie or to rewatch it. If someone ever gave me a copy or paid me to take it, I would say no. And then looking back years later when I'm on my deathbed, I'd know that no matter what happens in ZakIsCinema's life, that I made the right decision saying no to that free copy of I Heart Willie, because that is a good decision. It's one of those movies that as soon as it finished, I just started getting that realization like, wow, I will never get these like 2 hours back in ZakIsCinema's life here. Never. I'll never get it back. And that's okay, because I got to talk to you guys about it, but I was just throwing that out here. You have my thoughts here. You have my thoughts on I Heart Willie. Let me know down below. Did you guys see this movie on the one night event? Are you gonna try to watch this? Did you even know this was a thing? Did you get this confused with Steamboat? I certainly did. Let me know. Let me know if you even heard of this. I don't even know about this movie till I was like scrolling through the Regal app. But let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what other slasher movies you'd like to see utilize this public domain loophole thingy. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you have any cool ideas of what you might do with Mickey Mouse since it's in public domain. Let me know down below here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate anybody watching my videos, so thank you so much. Look forward to more ZakIsCinema coming very soon.